Today, former President Donald Trump formally announcing a third bid for the White House in 2024, despite what appears to be waning party support in the wake of a lackluster Republican midterm performance. Washington correspondent Kellie Meyer is live for us in West Palm Beach. That's where Trump made his announcement last night. So, Kellie, the big question, why now?
And doing it now, despite some of his closest allies advising him against this, telling him to wait. Trump adamant about making this announcement and doing it now, putting him first in line for what could be a crowded 2024 presidential field. The announcement was the easy part.
America's comeback starts right now.
Now, former President Donald Trump is dealing with the reality of less than robust Republican support.
I think Trump might be the only Republican who could lose. Why is that? Because an election with Donald Trump wouldn't be about anything other than Donald Trump.
More than one GOP mega donor on record saying don't expect a big check. Yet time is on Trump's side. His announcement comes 720 days before Election Day, much further out than former President Obama's and former President George W. Bush's re-election announcement.
Well, he's not in office, so he has more time because when you're in office, you also have to do the job of the president.
The tactical advantage is really one of trying to freeze the field. If he steps in, there's a number of other prospective candidates who have said, if Trump is a candidate, I won't run.
A list of potential 2024 challengers happen to be meeting this weekend for a big Republican conference in Las Vegas. Top names from Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin to former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, with former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis headlining.
When you're leading, when you're getting things done, you take incoming fire.
Trump's announcement also motivating Democrats, triggering mounting opposition to another bid. One congressman already tossing around a bill to bar Trump from holding office. The former president also facing a slew of investigations, subpoenas, and lawsuits. But will it affect his presidential bid?
This should not freeze any of the DOJ investigations of him. Any of the civil claims that we've seen already were about actions that happened before he entered public office, and all of those things would still go forward.
Fundraising, the focus now on a 700-plus day run for what would be a historic return to the White House. Now that he's officially filed the presidential paperwork, a new set of FEC regulations over the amount of money he can raise and what he can spend it on are triggered.
He has passion for this country and he has passion for the greatness that America has been in the past, where we could be in the future. And I think he's just ready to run.
And it makes for much tighter rules on spending and fundraising. That early announcement, if Trump had waited, he could have continued to travel on PAC funds. Now he'll have to start dipping into that campaign account. Nichole?
Yeah, it certainly changes some things. Okay, Kellie, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.